Every day, thousands of people over 50 notice something unusual with their body, but choose to brush it off as nothing serious at all. But what if I told you that ignoring these small changes could be the difference between catching bowel cancer early and facing it far too late? Stay with me until the end, because the sixth sign I'll reveal isn't a symptom at all, and it could be the most important one to save your life. Bowel cancer, also called colorectal cancer, is the fourth most common cancer in many countries and the second leading cause of cancer deaths. More than 9 out of 10 new cases happen in people over the age of 50, making this incredibly relevant if you're in your 50s or beyond. It starts in the large intestine, which is the part of your digestive system that processes waste, like a long tube that absorbs water and nutrients. The frightening truth is that survival depends entirely on how early it's found, with over 90% surviving when caught early, dropping below 15%. Why do so many people miss the early warning signs, even when their body is trying to tell them something important is happening inside them right now? What are the specific changes you should never ignore? And how can you tell the difference between harmless everyday problems and something more serious? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and what steps to take to protect yourself starting today without any confusion. Before we continue, please leave a comment telling me where you're watching from. I'd love to know where in the world you are joining me from today. Your bowel, or large intestine, works like a recycling system, taking what your body needs and preparing the rest to leave as waste material. When cells in the bowel lining start growing out of control, they form lumps called polyps, which are like small bumps on the inside wall. Most polyps are harmless, but some can slowly turn into cancer over many years, which is why finding them early makes all the difference in treatment. The problem is that early bowel cancer often causes symptoms that look exactly like common everyday digestive troubles we all experience from time to time. People blame stress, aging, diet changes, or hemorrhoids, which are swollen veins near the bottom that can bleed and cause discomfort in many people. This is exactly why so many cases get discovered late, when the cancer has already grown larger and spread to other parts of the body completely. Now I'm going to walk you through 6 critical signs your body might be giving you, including one that will completely change how you think about this. Pay very close attention to each one, because recognizing even a single sign early could be the key to catching this disease when it's still treatable. Sign number 1, blood in your stool, which is the most recognized warning sign that something might be wrong with your digestive system right now. This blood can appear bright red, which usually means it's coming from the lower part of your bowel or from hemorrhoids near the opening of your bottom. It can also look dark, almost black like tar, which means the blood has been digested as it traveled through your system from higher up in the bowel. Many people see blood and immediately assume it's just hemorrhoids, especially if they've had them before, so they don't bother checking with a doctor at all. But here's the critical point. Even if you do have hemorrhoids, new bleeding or a change in the pattern of bleeding should always be checked out properly. Studies published in major medical journals show that a significant number of bowel cancers are first dismissed as hemorrhoids by patients themselves, not doctors. The truth is that most people who see blood in their stool do not have cancer, and the cause is usually something harmless like piles or a small tear. However, the only way to know for certain is to visit your doctor and get it checked, because guessing can cost you precious time if it is something serious. Your doctor may arrange a simple test or examination to rule out cancer and give you peace of mind, which is quick and far less uncomfortable than you imagine. Never feel embarrassed about discussing bowel movements or blood with your doctor, because they see these issues every single day and want to help you stay healthy. If you're over 50 and you notice blood, even once, make an appointment as soon as possible rather than waiting to see if it happens again next time. Blood in your stool is your body's way of waving a red flag, and ignoring that flag could mean missing the chance to catch cancer at its earliest stage. Remember, catching bowel cancer early means treatment is far more effective, and in many cases, the disease can be completely cured with the right care and surgery. So the message is simple. Blood in your stool, whether bright or dark, should always be a reason to pick up the phone and book a doctor's appointment. Don't wait for other symptoms to appear. Don't try to diagnose yourself online. And don't assume it's nothing just because it doesn't hurt or happen every day. Taking action now could literally save your life. So please don't brush this sign off as something that will go away on its own without any help from you. This is the first and most obvious sign, but the next ones are just as important, and some of them are far more easily overlooked by people our age. Sign number 2, a persistent change in your bowel habits, which means your normal pattern of going to the toilet has shifted and stayed different for weeks. This could mean you're suddenly having looser stools more often than usual, or you're going to the toilet much more frequently throughout the day and night. It might also mean you're experiencing constipation when you've never had that problem before, or your bowel movements are alternating between loose and hard stools. The key word here is persistent, meaning the change lasts for 3 weeks or longer, not just a day or two after eating something that disagreed with you. Many people over 50 notice their digestion isn't quite what it used to be, so they assume these changes are just a normal part of getting older and aging. But bowel cancer can cause these changes by partially blocking the bowel or affecting how it moves waste through, which disrupts your usual routine and comfort level. Researchers at leading cancer hospitals have found that people who ignore persistent bowel changes often present with more advanced disease later on when it's harder to treat. If your bowel habits have changed and stayed different for 3 weeks, it's time to speak to your doctor, even if you feel fine otherwise and have no pain. Your doctor will ask you questions about your symptoms and may arrange tests like a stool sample or a camera examination to look inside your bowel for problems. These tests sound intimidating, but they're straightforward and are the best way to find out exactly what's causing the change so you can get the right treatment quickly. Don't dismiss this sign as just aging, stress, or a change in your diet, because those things rarely cause changes that last for weeks and weeks on end. Bowel cancer growing in the left side of your colon, which is the lower part, often causes these noticeable changes in how often you go to the toilet. The earlier you get checked, the better your chances of catching any problem early, when treatment is simpler and far more likely to result in a full recovery. So if your normal routine has shifted and stayed shifted, don't wait for it to get worse or for other symptoms to appear before you take action and call your doctor. A persistent change in bowel habits is your body's way of telling you something has changed inside, and it's important to listen to that message and act on it. This sign is easy to ignore because it's not painful or dramatic, but ignoring it could mean missing the chance to catch cancer when it's still in its early stages. Now let's move on to the third sign, which is something many people experience but often put down to indigestion, stress, or just eating the wrong foods recently. Sign number 3. Unexplained abdominal pain or bloating that won't settle down, even after you've tried changing your diet or taking over-the-counter remedies at home. This pain might feel like cramping, a dull ache, or a feeling of fullness and pressure in your belly that just doesn't go away no matter what you try. Bloating is incredibly common, especially as we get older, and it's usually caused by trapped gas, certain foods, or digestive issues that are completely harmless and temporary. But when bloating becomes persistent and is accompanied by other changes like altered bowel habits or weight loss, it could be a sign of something more serious happening. For women, it's especially important to know that persistent bloating can also be a warning sign of ovarian cancer, so don't assume it's always bowel-related without checking. Bowel cancer can cause bloating and pain by creating a blockage or irritation in the intestine, which makes it harder for waste to move through your system smoothly. Studies from major cancer research centers show that many patients with bowel cancer report ongoing abdominal discomfort that they initially blamed on diet or aging issues. If you've been feeling bloated or uncomfortable for several weeks and it's not getting better, it's time to stop guessing and get it checked by a doctor properly. Your doctor can examine your abdomen, ask about your symptoms, and arrange tests to rule out serious causes and find out what's really going on inside your body. Don't feel silly for seeking help over something that seems minor, because catching problems early is always better than waiting until they become much more serious later. Abdominal pain and bloating are easy to dismiss because they're so common, but when they're persistent and unexplained, they deserve proper medical attention and investigation. This is especially true if the pain is new for you, or if it's different from any digestive discomfort you've experienced before in your life and health history. Remember, most people with bloating and pain do not have cancer, but the only way to be certain is to get checked and rule out anything serious with confidence. Taking action now means you can either get treatment if something is wrong, or you can stop worrying if everything is fine, which is a win either way for you. So if your belly has been uncomfortable, swollen, or painful for weeks, don't brush it off as just indigestion, stress, or something you ate that disagreed with your stomach. Listen to your body and take the step to see your doctor, because early investigation is the key to catching bowel cancer when it's still treatable and possibly curable. Now let's move on to the fourth sign, which is something that many people notice but often blame on other things like stress, diet changes, or just getting older. Sign number 4, unexplained weight loss and loss of appetite, which means you're losing weight without trying and you're just not interested in food like before. Many of us might welcome losing a few pounds without effort, but unintentional weight loss can be a red flag that something inside your body isn't working right. Bowel cancer can cause weight loss because the tumor uses up energy, disrupts digestion, or makes you feel full quickly, so you eat less without even realizing it. Loss of appetite often goes hand in hand with weight loss, and you might find that foods you used to enjoy just don't appeal to you anymore at all. This sign is particularly important for people over 50, because at this age, sudden weight loss without a clear reason should always be investigated by a doctor immediately. Research published in leading medical journals shows that unexplained weight loss is one of the key warning signs doctors look for when considering a cancer diagnosis in older adults. If you've lost more than 5% of your body weight over 6 months without dieting or exercising more, that's considered significant and worth checking out properly. For example, if you weigh 160 pounds and you've lost 8 pounds without trying, that's enough to warrant a conversation with your doctor about it. Don't assume weight loss is just stress, aging, or a natural part of getting older, because healthy aging doesn't usually cause sudden, unexplained drops in weight at all. Your doctor will want to know about other symptoms you're experiencing, like changes in bowel habits or pain, to get the full picture of what's happening inside your body. They may arrange blood tests, scans, or other investigations to find the cause of the weight loss and make sure nothing serious is being missed or overlooked right now. It's important to act quickly if you notice this sign, because unexplained weight loss can be an indicator that cancer is more advanced and needs urgent attention and treatment. The good news is that if it is cancer and it's caught early, treatment can stop further weight loss and help you regain your strength and health over time. So if you've noticed your clothes fitting looser, or if family and friends have commented that you look thinner, take it seriously and don't brush it off as nothing important. Loss of appetite and weight loss are your body's way of signaling that something has changed, and it's crucial to find out what that change is as soon as possible. Don't wait for other symptoms to appear or for the weight loss to get worse before you seek help, because early action can make all the difference in outcomes. Now let's move to the fifth sign, which is one of the most counterintuitive and easily overlooked, yet it's incredibly important for catching bowel cancer early on. Sign number 5, unexplained tiredness, weakness, or breathlessness, which are symptoms that most people would never connect to bowel cancer at all in their minds. You might feel exhausted even after a full night's sleep, or you might find yourself out of breath climbing stairs or doing activities that used to be easy for you. This tiredness isn't the normal fatigue we all feel from time to time. It's a deep, persistent exhaustion that doesn't improve with rest or a good night's sleep. The reason this happens is because some bowel cancers, especially those on the right side of your colon, bleed slowly and invisibly over a long period of time. This slow, hidden bleeding causes iron deficiency anemia, which means your blood doesn't carry enough oxygen to your muscles and organs, making you feel weak and tired. Anemia develops gradually, so you might not notice it at first, but over time the lack of oxygen affects your energy, strength, and even your ability to think clearly. Medical studies have shown that unexplained anemia in adults over 50 is considered a red flag by doctors and often leads to a colonoscopy to check for bowel cancer. The frightening part is that right-sided colon cancers often don't cause obvious symptoms like blood in the stool, so anemia may be the very first clue something is wrong. If you've been feeling unusually tired, weak, or short of breath, especially if you're also pale or your heart races with light activity, see your doctor as soon as possible. Your doctor can do a simple blood test to check your iron levels and red blood cell count, which will show if you have anemia and need further investigation immediately. Don't brush off tiredness as just getting older, working too hard, or not sleeping well, because persistent unexplained fatigue deserves proper medical attention and investigation always. This sign is particularly important because it can be the only warning sign of a cancer that's otherwise growing silently without causing pain or obvious digestive symptoms at all. Catching anemia early and finding the cause can lead to an early diagnosis of bowel cancer, when treatment is far more effective, and survival rates are much higher overall. So if you've been feeling more tired than usual, or if you're breathless doing things that never used to bother you, don't ignore it and hope it goes away on its own. Take action and book an appointment with your doctor to get a blood test and discuss your symptoms, because this could be your body's way of alerting you to cancer. Remember, most people with tiredness and anemia do not have cancer, but the only way to know for sure is to get checked and rule out serious causes with confidence. Sign number 6, the sign your body doesn't give you, which is that early bowel cancer is often completely silent and causes no symptoms at all until it's advanced. This is the most important point of the entire video, because waiting for symptoms to appear before you take action could mean waiting until it's too late to catch it early. The truth is that the most reliable way to catch bowel cancer early is not by spotting symptoms, but by participating in regular screening tests offered to people over 50. Screening tests are designed to find cancer before it causes any symptoms, or even to find and remove polyps before they turn into cancer in the first place at all. In many countries, people over 50 receive a home test kit called a FETI test, which checks for tiny amounts of blood in your stool that you can't see with your eyes. This test is simple, private, and done at home, with no need for bowel preparation, fasting, or any uncomfortable procedures, and it can save your life if it catches cancer early. Studies from cancer research organizations around the world show that people who complete their screening tests have a much better chance of surviving bowel cancer if it's found. The reason is simple. Screening finds cancer at stage 1 or 2 when it's still localized and treatment can cure it, rather than stage 3 or 4 when it's spread elsewhere. Yet many people ignore their screening invitation or put it off because they feel fine, they're embarrassed, or they're worried about what the test might find inside their body. But here's the reality. Feeling fine is not a guarantee that everything is fine, because early bowel cancer doesn't make you feel sick, and that's exactly why screening exists. If you're over 50 and you receive a screening test kit in the mail, please complete it and send it back as soon as possible, even if you have no symptoms at all. If you're older than the upper age limit for automatic screening and you're concerned, you can request a test kit from your doctor, because screening can benefit older adults too. Don't let fear or embarrassment stop you from taking this simple step, because catching cancer early through screening is the single most powerful tool we have to save lives today. Remember, the test is checking for blood you can't see, so even if you've never noticed any symptoms, the test might still detect something important that needs investigation further. The bottom line is this: the most important sign to act on isn't a symptom your body gives you, it's the screening invitation that arrives in your mailbox every few years. Completing your screening test is the best way to catch bowel cancer early, when survival rates are over 90%, and treatment is simpler, faster, and far more effective overall. Now that you know the signs, let's talk about what to do if you notice any of them, or if you simply want to protect yourself through screening right now. First, don't self-diagnose or wait for symptoms to go away on their own, because early action is the key to catching bowel cancer when it's still treatable and curable. Book an appointment with your doctor as soon as possible if you notice blood in your stool, a persistent change in bowel habits, unexplained pain, weight loss, or tiredness. When you see your doctor, be honest and specific about your symptoms, how long they've lasted, and any other changes you've noticed, even if they seem unrelated or minor. It's important to know that most people with these symptoms do not have bowel cancer, and the cause is usually something harmless like hemorrhoids, infection, or digestive issues. However, if you do have cancer, catching it early makes all the difference, so never delay seeking help because you're worried or embarrassed about discussing bowel symptoms with anyone. Thank you so much for watching and taking the time to learn about these important warning signs that could truly save your life or the life of someone you love dearly. Please give this video a like, share it with friends and family who are over 50, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts or experiences with bowel health and screening. Please give this video a like, share it with friends and family who are over 50, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts or experiences with bowel health and screening.